So, if you've been here a while, you will realise we talk about how to get out close guard, and we talk about either standing, we talk about Tozi Pass and all that stuff. I'm going to bring it right down to basics today because it's fundamental for us. What are we trying to do in close guard? So, coming around to the side. My prime aim is to break open this first. Nothing happens until I can break. Yeah, I know there are strangles and chokes from here, but they're kind of specialist moves, and against a more experienced guy, I don't think you're going to get them. So our priority is to make sure as much pressure happens here, at the back here, against this foot. So you can see I can put my hand here. I don't want that space. So what I want you guys to do is we're going to look at the two extremes. Number one extreme is we're moving back as far as we can and we're sitting here. I'm not doing anything, but can you already feel like you're at the end of your ability to hold the close guard? And see if you can open it just by doing that. Okay. Obviously he doesn't have grips on you, it's a proof of concept here. You come from academy where they like concepts, I'm sure this is something they talked about, right? So again, we're trying to walk backwards as much as we can. There's no resistance from him. We're just going to see if we can use the small of our back to try and put as much pressure here without too much help. There we go. There we go. There. Another benefit of being as far back as possible is that try and grip me. It's very easy to defend. Of course, there's a hip bump sweep. So once you open your guard, you do the hip bump sweep. Ah, but look, he's opened his guard. So job done. So it achieves a number of things. So that's the first drill you're going to do with your partner. The second drill you're going to do is we're going to try and get the knees here. Right? And it doesn't matter whether it's closed or not. But when his knees are beyond his hip line, the close guard is less effective. So if you think about it, number one objective is to get the knees as extended as we can. The second objective is to get the knees as close to him as we can. And then we're doing this. And how's your close guard, Steve? It's not nice, is it? And we're just going to stay here and just, see how effective he is at pushing me back from him. I'm a light guy, right? So you can see what's happening. This myth that the close guard is the ultimate Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu guard can be easily broken down just by your distancing. So two things I want you to look at with your partner. Number one, moving back as far as you can. Just see if you can feel that pressure without too much of the interference here. The second one is just, you don't even have to stand up. It's just like just putting my chest on his face and just leave me here. How good is your close guard now? Do that a couple of times, swap over, do that a couple of times, just so you get a feel of the two extremes. One, my posture is great. Number two, my posture is terrible, but my weight is on him. Yes? Everyone understand? So, let's look at a technique from here. This is going back old school. All right? Notice my knees are quite close. Now, there's a problem with this one, is that I can easily be toppled. But to be toppled, he needs grip, and he needs to open his legs. So we're going to assume that is not the case. So at the moment we're just practicing the core basic of how to open this. We need a wedge, all right? And a wedge is something that you can insert or you can lever to open up that guard. And what we're going to use is our knee and our hip here. I'm trying to keep it as pared down as we can. The lever being my hip, to be honest. I'm not really using my hands. So with my knees together, I open one knee out, but I'm still facing the same way, and it's just my hip turn. So that can feel what's happening. This only works when you've satisfied the criteria of moving back as far as you can. It doesn't work when I'm here. You see there's a big gap here. Hello, I can put two arms here. Now I'm going to try the same technique. Nothing is there. I'm turning my hips. I can turn all the way around. There's so much room here. What I don't want is there to be any room. So we start from here, we're walking back. This is just a guide. You can feel there's that tension. I put one knee out, use my hips. One word of warning, when you do this one, people tend to put their knee in the middle and their leg out, and they turn like this. What I want you to do is direct your knee there so that so it's a very easy sweep from there. You want to be aware of it. Yeah. Moving backwards, feel the tension. I'm putting one knee in, one knee out. I'm very central. Hopefully you won't be able to sweep from here. Just go sweep from here. Yeah. And drop down to the heel. So without somebody here, here, walking backwards as much as I can, putting that knee here, counterbalancing with my head, opening out, using my hip as a lever here, little assistance from the elbow. As soon as the legs pop open, you keep them open, they do not close again. So then we would look at isolating the leg, which most of you know. Okay, so try that one, very simple.
Sorry, can you show what not to do when you facing this way?
Do you want it with a partner or without somebody? So with the old school, on the ground, on the knees, guard opening, people put their knee in the middle, and then they go back to what they think is the body wants to naturally be in the same place as it
both
were.
knees are...
Yeah, and then this knee comes out, and I'm trying to open the guard, but look, I'm really lopsided, whereas I want to be, I want to compensate the weight here. It's kind of a subtle thing, but it's an easy error to make. When we're here, and you see, I'm very...
So as soon as
The centre of gravity,
my
basically.
centre of gravity, yeah. You want to compensate by being here, then you can open up. So that's like a pared down, very, very basic, just so you get understanding of using the hips as a wedge. Okay, try that a few times each, then we move on. 1, 2, 3. Saying that we need to put as much pressure on this entwined area as we can. We can't do it when we're nestled in very close to his hips. For the guard player, his hips are the most important part. His ability to move the hips is the most important part of his game. So let's assume we do all the things. We go back a bit, and I'm trying that first one, and I'm not feeling it. I can stick my leg up and go on the knee. Now this move is considered sacrilege in the modern game, because if you are not careful, pop up your triangle, here we go, you're giving him a triangle. Having said that, talk to a red belt, Mauricio, that's his go-to move. So why does it work with him? And then that's apart from the fact that he's a legend and he's really good. So he describes it, he teaches it to his black belts, and his black belts teach it, saying this is really old school, you can try it, you could get triangled if you don't follow all the rules. So we're doing all the things we can. We create enough space here to dive in and grab our ankle. Remember what I talked about levers? This now acts as a wedge and a lever to leave it open. So it's very powerful, it really works. But I'm worried about this leg and this leg. So this leg could potentially pop up, this leg could control me. You've got to control the bottom leg first. And what you can do is lock in here. Part one. And we'll talk about, we'll demonstrate later on that it's harder for him to get the triangle from here. The second thing is this foot walks backwards. And as it walks backwards, it creates that pressure to open up. Now you have a great situation where you're controlling his hips and his legs. You pop that on your shoulder, reach far, extend, just forward, and you're doing the smash pass. This is really like the first pass I ever learned. So here, walking backwards, popping up. I'm still trying to keep as centre of balance as I can. I'm reaching up just to grab my ankle. I want to lock in this leg here. I don't want that bottom leg. This now walks, pops open, pop it under my shoulder. You are extending and projecting as forward as you can. This kind of relates to the first exercise that we did, where my head is trying to get over to his head. Popping around. Now let's just finish this off by seeing how effective this attempt at a triangle is, recognising that I've got my hand and head underneath there. Without control of that leg, looking for triangle, horrible. With control of the leg, not so much the leg, but the hip. I'm locking down the hip. He puts the triangle in, but that bottom leg is ineffective. Even if he knocks it, I can still project. There. So, I think it's worth practicing. You know, it was good for many decades before the modern game said, don't do it, you get triangle. Well, yeah, you can get triangle, but if you're aware of the triangle, then you can mitigate it.
Is it something that you still see, like comp?
I haven't seen it in a modern game, no. But you go to a seminar with Roger, I bet Roger will teach it.
Do you lock his leg before you grab your own ankle? Or
I would do everything I can to neutralise any hip movement, so yeah, as early as you can.
Is there a particular side that goes up? So bearing in mind where you hold on to the collar and his...
Which side that goes up?
Which foot goes up? Based on where you're gripping?
Not really. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, this hand is going to be the hand.
That's the one that goes under. Yeah.
I'm not really gripping. I'm just using it as a balance. Usually they grip me. Even if they grip me, I can still lock in.
Right.
And then one leg and hip is totally immobilised. Okay. Try it, guys. I think it's worth trying it. It still comes under the same umbrella of the technique prior to that, using the hip and the wedge and the lever to lever open that close down. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's go. There isn't so much danger of knee grips. So if you close the door. So walking back is the same. I'm kind of putting my palms on here and walking back. And you're trying to feel at the maximum of where it can be. You're looking at your opponent, he's been trying to hook the hair and do all that sort of thing. You can grip fight it, but I can still maintain this depth, as it were. I'm not even basing out, I can even just do it like this. I am prone to sideways sweeps, so you've got to just be aware of that. Have a quick look, have a quick feel where his feet are. Okay, I can tell this foot is the bottom one, pushing down and it's open. If you manage to get the wrong one, so can you swap the legs, the joint? If you get the wrong one, oh, okay. Yeah. So that's like the quick and dirty one. But you have, again, you have to satisfy the principle of moving your body, or your hips rather, at the furthest point that you can do. Quick look, push down. If you get the wrong one, quick look, that's the wrong one, push down. If he senses that, you do the original one, if he senses you've got the right one, and for him to change the grip again, it's too hard really, I think, if you go back to the original. Once I'm here, for you to change the grip, I've got it, see what I mean? I think resist the temptation of doing this. Some people teach you like this, and you get the full on there. I think you can get triangle from there, if you get it wrong. Should we try this? I think it's a nice one. This forces you to really get that furthest distance. And notice also what I didn't do. I didn't turn my whole body to do that, because that makes me very unbalanced. It's kind of like have a feel, pop down. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You know the drill where I said there's two extremes. So far we've been working on the extremes where our posture is good. We're doing all this, we're doing this, and we're in good posture, and there's distance between us and the hips. This one we want the complete opposite. We want to be posture really low and pressures, because this is the introduction to stack passing. So if you imagine the closed guard player, the first set of techniques we just did, you're extending his closed guard to the point where it's going to do that. This sweet spot here is great for him. You're not going to open that. Where you bring the knees over the hips are elevated, and it's very hard to create just tension here. It's very easy to open them. More likely what happens is you get tension here, and you just open up like that. So just try and visualize that as we go through the next leg of our rosters. One Sandy talked a couple of weeks ago. Very nice. Right, so in this case, my intention is, maybe I've tried these ones where I'm here and it's not really getting anywhere. But I see an opportunity. Also, you have to be aware he's not, maybe you've spotted that he's not framing. He's not going to frame, because a lot of people, when they do this, it's an opportunity to grab collars and frame against me and do stuff. So working here, I'm here now. I'm going underneath, and I'm cupping under the shoulder, and I'm making his shoulders flat. When he starts turning, he starts to have dominance from this position. But when he's flat, he's virtually, neutral for him, and it's good for me. And I just walk round to the other side, switch my hips. Step over. Here. I mean, it's not pleasant for the person on me. And I'm very light. So this one, launch over, almost like a cat crawling, launch over. And I want to be crushing him, almost so that my chest is on his face rather than his chest here. I'm here. What also helps is a backwards elbow, because this is another concept, is disrupting the spine by bending his head. So we're bending the head here, and we're going to keep our hips low, switch our base here, step over. And then into this very nice side position here. You see that?
No,
It's fairly brutal actually.
is that neck? Like twisting that neck?
That's not
really,
nice, is it? That's not the nice
It
thing.
really hasn't.
Yeah. And again, perfect for Nogi or Gi or MMA or whatever your inclination. So be aware of guard players as well. have a practice and we'll look at, if we have time, how to mitigate against these if somebody does that to you. Okay? 1, 2, 3.